Pumpkin spice lattes climbed 70% compared to the year ago. 70%? More people are drinking pumpkin. How are you not sick of that stupid drink?
Well, it's seasonal, right?
I get it, but it jumped.
There was COVID scares last fall.
So you didn't feel like pumpkin spice latte? Just
No,
a
you
regular
might not
latte?
have gone to Starbucks as much.
Nah, people were going.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Group Chat, the number one podcast in the world. You know, a lot of doom and gloom, a lot of negative news out there. So we're going to get you started right with some layoffs.
Big layoffs.
Big layoffs. Only for one type of people.
Yep.
It's not for everyone. Because if you are selling food, business is booming.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're selling pumpkin spice lattes. Add 4 pumps, add some oat milk, add extra pumpkin, give me a plastic straw. Your business is booming. We got that. We got earnings for some of the biggest companies in the world. And then we talk about the future. Is it Apple? Is it Meta? Is it Amazon? Is it Tesla? Is it Microsoft? Who are you putting your kids' college education money on? And of course, winners, losers, content. Let's get into it. All right, everyone, we are back with another episode of Group Chat. And, you know, I'm going to start today's episode out with some bad news. White collar crimes are happening everywhere. White collar jobs are getting slaughtered all over technology.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really just a technology issue. No other industry is cutting people like the technology industry.
Not at the pace and at the scale.
Yeah, no way. I mean, today, the big announcement was Stripe cut 14%. Lyft cut 13%. I saw a company, Chime, cut 14%.
Yeah.
Open Door cut 18%. And these are all everything from engineering to sales to marketing to, you know, probably everyone's making 6 figures.
Yeah, I think this is what we talked about, that this is going to be a recession of the white collar class because these high paying jobs, mid 6 figures at in some cases.
Yeah.
And then we haven't even started the banking layoffs.
Yeah.
So Morgan Stanley started laying off people. Wells Fargo laid off their mortgage department, or tons of people in their mortgage department.
Yeah.
And then wait till come January, December, when investment banks realize their investment banking revenue is cratered,
Yeah.
you're going to see a bunch of bankers get cut.
Yeah. So bankers, technology, mortgage, like real estate, those seem like the areas that are going to suffer the most.
You got to imagine lawyers too. There's no M&A transactions. There's no IPOs.
A lot of bankruptcies. They'll be fine.
Yeah. If you specialize in restructuring and bankruptcies, you'll probably
You're going
be
to
fine.
boom. You're going to be a record year. Yeah, it's actually interesting because if you look at the companies that are struggling, they really come, like, for example, Stripe's competitor, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Adyen or Adyen? Adyen, which is another payment processor, is almost as big as Stripe now, has a third of the employees Stripe does,
Mm-hmm.
quietly has built this massive payment processing business, while Stripe is, you could say, arguably mismanaged. Like they didn't make the cuts. They overhired. They were overambitious, and
they're still privately traded, right? So they, we talked about how in the private markets, secondaries, it was trading, I think, like 30-40% off its peak.
yeah.
And if it were public, it'd probably be 50% lower than that.
Yeah, it'd be off the peak, it'd be 80%.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting to me that during the pandemic, when everyone was growing, that if you look at a lot of the hires like Snapchat, like they pretty much doubled their workforce in the pandemic. What was going on that they thought they needed this many people at all these companies? Because most of these hires, sure, business is booming, but it probably would have boomed with an incremental increase in hires, not double. Is it because work from home, they didn't know, so they just wanted to be safe and just overhire?
Yeah, I think one, business is booming, so this is our time. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I think the big shock for technology companies was that the behavior of human beings went exactly back to the way it was post-pandemic. We thought there was going to be some new revolution. The only real change has been remote work that has stayed permanent.
Yep.
That has been the biggest change. Like, think about all of our behaviors from the pandemic are literally done.
It's funny you said
no one rides a Peloton. No one orders delivery. Like, it's just gone.
Eric Deluxe, our friend, who during the pandemic was DJing and was doing those live Twitches.
Yeah.
And obviously he hasn't done them in a while. And he told me the story just now that he wanted to get rid of his streaming room and use it for like work stuff.
Yeah.
And so he did one last Twitch stream 2 days ago. And I saw him post and I was like, this was a thing? Yeah. But I know it was a big thing. Yeah. Like he would DJ and people would come on. And
I would sit and watch.
But it's like unfathomable now, like how quickly we went back to like, that is ridiculous.
People have literally erased 2020 and 2021 from their life.
Yeah.
Like they don't remember what happened. We don't remember how our businesses were. We don't remember that we were getting free money. We just forgot about it.
Mm-hmm. Remember Zoom drinks? That was a thing.
Yeah. That was stupid.
That was very stupid.
Even Zoom dinners was stupid. All of it was stupid. The whole thing was stupid.
But it's interesting how human psychology is that we dove all in and thought, oh, this is the new way. Like you can interact with friends around the world over Zoom. Like I haven't Zoomed one person.
And every concert now is record-breaking numbers.
Yep.
I mean, if you look at what are the businesses doing well, it's your traditional businesses. The most traditional businesses are doing oil, gas, retail. Like that's, Starbucks, Chipotle. Like we went back 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't think there's no technology revolution. I mean, it wasn't for venture capital, these companies would be toast.
Yeah, they would never have gotten this big, obviously. And that's what happens when you have zero interest rates versus what everyone's experiencing now.
Yeah, and I think speaking of that, we started talking about actually on the layoff, the one thing Stripe did was give extremely generous severances. 14 weeks, health coverage, I think for 6 months. They even gave them all alumni.stripe email addresses. Like, I think they, felt bad. So they did as much as they could. But at the end of the day, like, all of these companies are extremely bloated. And I would argue they still are very bloated.
Yeah, I think the cuts probably aren't large enough.
Elon, the rumor is trying to cut half. Before it was 75%. Now he spent a week. He's like, okay, half these people are useless.
Or half these people are needed.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think the question will become, Twitter will be a really good example of, can you cut deep enough to make an impact? And then I think that
if it works, then look out.
Yeah.
Tech companies are going to
they're going to have the pressure.
Yeah.
Especially public market companies. They're just going to be like, yo, Elon just, he's going to have, because he has debt and this and that. We're going to know the numbers. Like the numbers will be public.
There's publicly traded debt. So
yeah. So you're going to know, we're going to see the numbers and we're going to know how this company's doing. And he's obviously under a tremendous amount of financial pressure.
Yep.
So we'll have to see how that plays out. My question is, you're already seeing everyone announced hiring freezes. Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Google,
Microsoft.
Now they are going to lay off people now.
Absolutely.
So the thing about these layoffs is, one, they're all coming with pretty generous severances.
Well, those companies can afford it.
Yeah.
Like Stripe's raised so much money.
Yeah. The least you could do is give it to your employees.
I mean, their cash balance sheet, the cash on the balance sheet must be insane. I don't know what it is, but it's a large number.
So,
but what's going to happen is just go on Crunchbase and look at all the companies that raised growth rounds in 2021. They haven't started laying off yet.
I guess what's the aggregate of all of those jobs?
What do you mean?
Let's say high tech growth companies.
Private.
What is that? 1 million people?
Probably less.
It's just nothing. That's the point, is that these layoffs are very high profile in Twitter land that has no real impact on the economy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to affect anything except for like Barry's boot camp in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what it's really impacting. Like you lost your job at Stripe. You're like, I have probably $2 million in my bank account because I've been paid so much money over the years. So you know what?
It's the ecosystem. I understand what you're saying, that it is small, but that those people aren't going to be able to get the same type of jobs go forward.
They'll have to settle for a lower paying job.
Yep.
That's it.
But where? Because no one's hiring.
People are hiring. There's still a lot of job openings, even in technology.
Maybe early stage.
Yeah, I mean, like
Series A's and B's.
Yeah, we'll still have interviews where someone will be like, "Why should I work for you guys?" I don't know, because Stripe just cut 14%. You can't work there.
Yeah.
And Stripe is one of those companies where, like, if you work at Stripe, you're kind of anointed as a very special employee.
Yep.
Because that means apparently it's a tough job to get.
Yeah, there's there's tons of former Stripe employees that have started startups that have raised a bunch of money.
And so but here's the other thing that I do think why those jobs actually will get swallowed up so fast. There's so much early stage tech money still that needs to be deployed that I think all of these people will just end up being founders or end up in early stage startups. Their salaries are going to get squashed.
Yeah, it's like 60-70% pay cut.
Yeah, the huge pay cuts. But
with
they'll
upside if a company works or not. But most of these
Dapper
won't.
Labs also laid off. Delivery Hero, which I'm not even too sure what that is. Assume it's a delivery. Cloud Kitchens. Yeah, I mean, these are all very high profile companies. But yeah, it's like 1,000 jobs here, 100 jobs here. It has no impact on like national jobs.
It has no impact on what Jerome Powell cares about.
No.
Because he wants like Ford, GM, Walmart.
He wants Walmart to lay off 10,000 people.
Yes, that's what
they're
he wants.
not. Their business is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how that all plays off. Speaking of Twitter, it is unbelievable. Elon Musk is the most polarizing figure in the world now.
Yeah.
Which is unbelievable. It's become like, if you publicly support Elon Musk, you're like a social pariah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even understand this. I mean, like, why are all these people cutting their ties with advertising? I saw Pfizer, Audi. What did they
General
think?
Mills.
General Mills. What do they think is happening on this platform? Do you know how toxic the platform was before?
Yeah.
What has gotten worse?
Nothing's gotten worse. And it's even worse that they'll cut now when one of the initiatives is to cut all the spam bots.
Yes.
Misinformation.
Yeah.
And you were okay with all of that before.
Yeah. I don't understand why all of a sudden now you have some like moral compass around. You shouldn't, guess what? You should not advertise on social media then. Any social media.
You can't advertise any newspaper.
No. Newspaper you can. Why?
There's misinformation across all
misinformation
sides.
They're okay with. Toxic information, toxic, culture is what they're afraid of. I just don't understand like the guidelines of these companies. I think it's just become like, if you're a liberal company, you just fall into this weird bucket. I mean, I can't believe, and it's such a rational argument of like everything what Elon Musk is doing. It doesn't make sense to me that people are so up in arms. And the blue check thing is bothering me so much. It's irritating the shit out of me. No one said everyone has to do it. You can still be on Twitter. You can enjoy Twitter. You can love it. But if you want a couple of these features, like a blue check, or you want to be at the top of the replies, or you want to get served less ads, you have the option to pay $8. Why the fuck do you care if someone else doesn't do it?
It's baffling. And AOC had a tweet up in arms over paying for a blue check, claiming it's paying for free speech, which isn't true. And Elon tweeted back at her, thank you for your feedback. Now pay $8.
Yeah. And now and by the way, it's just enraging. It's people are nuts, absolutely nuts. And I don't understand why this $8 is driving. It's $8. We spend so much money on,
like you said, you don't have to do it.
You don't have to do it. Like, it's fine.
And we know it was a scam how people got the blue checks before.
Yeah, that's why someone else tweeted, he goes, you're only pissed you have to pay $8 because everyone else gets to pay $8 because you paid 20 grand.
Yeah. Exactly.
You got hustled. And now,
I mean, early Twitter days, there was an employee that would come down here and try to get people on the platform, bribing them with the blue check.
Yes. I just think the most fascinating thing about this blue check thing, it is the prime example of like how we can't agree on anything. This is actually net positive for Twitter.
And it's the most elitist viewpoint.
Yeah.
Because you're saying not everyone can have the features you have because you're deemed famous or important.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So you're telling me that, so for example, all the people that are complaining about the blue check actually need it because they're
will AOC pay her $8?
Of course. She'll lose reach.
She was complaining about $8 and then Elon went on her merch store and there's a sweatshirt for $58, so he circled it. Like, you're complaining about $8, but you're making your.
And then the comment behind there goes, "Those are union made in America." I mean, it's just like you can't. Here's what you can't win is an argument on the internet.
No,
someone like even just looking at like how people are handling anti-Semitism, it's insane. Like people will counter it. It's just absolutely insane that you think anything is acceptable in this right. It's and even so Colin Cowherd tweeted. Colin Cowherd, if you don't know, very large, one of the largest terrestrial radio sportscasters. He literally by himself talks for 5 hours.
Yeah, it's insane what he does.
Known as a liberal, left-leaning person, tweeted out, "This is going to be a red wave in next Tuesday, and it's because politicians didn't look out for the kids during COVID." And I think what he's referencing is that, or he clarifies, it's around what's happening now with kids with the falling behind on their education, suicide rates, opioids, all of these things have been exacerbated. And he is basically saying that like red cities and red states were open, and those children are probably having a very different experience than people that went in California or in some of these other states. And then Sage Steele, who's also another thing, jumped on and said, "Yeah, I agree."
Sage is MAGA.
Yeah, and but like you just see this like. It's insane how divided people are. What the funniest thing is people are complaining about Twitter on Twitter.
Yeah. Because there's nowhere else to go.
Where are you going? Why are you playing
someone tweeted at Colin Cowherd, "They're going to come for you for this one, Colin." And he says, "I couldn't give 2 Fs. I lean mostly left, but data clearly proved kids 18 and under were safe, yet held out of schools. Test scores have plummeted. Suicides have risen. Chaos for parents. Just a sad reality of ignoring data. Price will be paid and hopefully a lesson learned."
It's pretty rational.
And even if you disagree with it, you can have a discourse with them.
You don't even need to have a discourse with them. You could just disagree and go on with your fucking day. Why do you have to get so enraged? Like, what's interesting is like 1 o'clock, someone will tweet something. And it's just a firestorm of people attacking someone at 1 o'clock. What are you doing all day?
Tweeting. That's why these layoffs are going to keep coming.
Yeah, because unbelievable. I just can't. I'm baffled at the way people react to every single bit of information. You know, like another big news. It was so. I'll just keep giving you examples. Dan Snyder, who is the owner of the Washington Commanders. There was a rumor about him potentially being forced to sell the team.
I think the timeline's interesting on this one.
Yeah.
So he's unliked by the NFL ownership. He's owned the team since he was 34. I don't know how he got so rich by 34. It's telemarketing.
Yeah.
But like that's
Coupons, I think.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That he got
He's awesome.
Yeah. So he did something right because
Yeah.
he bought a team. He's very unliked by NFL ownership. Allegations of like abuse, harassment, misconduct within the organization, and they've been trying to get him out for a long time. Then what happens is he comes out and says he's hired private investigators on all the other owners for some amount of time, and I've got dirt on everyone, so don't come after me. And then everyone's like, okay, how's this going to play out? Like no one goes against the shield, which is the NFL. NFL is effectively like a mafia that is impenetrable.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden news breaks yesterday or the day before.
He hired a bank.
He hired a bank, forced a sale. Then the Department of Justice comes out and says he's committed some financial crimes, which still have not yet been reported. And the NFL just bulldozed him over.
Yeah, and then now those financial crimes are going to be pushed away. Like they're going to be like, all right, whatever, we're going to withdraw it.
But they just steamrolled him.
Yeah.
It's crazy how the NFL works.
They're great. It's nice. I like it.
It's like the last bastion of like, they don't tolerate bullshit.
Yeah, it's a mafia. It's kind of awesome. So his the second prize is he's going to get $5.6 billion.
Yeah, so he's going to sell the team.
What did he buy the team for?
I mean, 24 years ago?
So in 1999, he bought the franchise for $750 million.
Yeah, it's a nice profit.
Yeah.
So he's going to make effectively $5 billion in profit.
8x, yeah.
It's a good investment.
Great investment. And so that's the interesting thing about when you drag a sports team owner. The consolation is, you get a shitload of money.
Right. It happened with Donald Sterling. It's about to happen with Robert Sarver of the Phoenix Suns.
You get $5 billion, $2 billion, $1 billion. You become an instant billionaire.
Of course.
Liquid billionaire.
Yeah, liquid. Because that's cash in the bank.
Yeah, which is nice to have in a impending doom recession.
So it's interesting. The NFL is different than the other sports leagues. Is no private equity money.
Yeah.
So you just have to be really rich. So it limits the number of actual buyers.
Yeah, there's one only serious bidder right now. I mean, there's not many people on earth that have money. So it's Jeff Bezos is the lead candidate, and it sounds like Jay-Z is the potential strategic.
Is he linked with Bezos in it?
Yeah, well,
I know that Jay-Z's trying to be part of a group. I didn't know if it was Jeff Bezos.
I mean, because the other person is Byron Allen, which is a media guy, local LA dude.
Didn't he just buy like a $150 million property in Malibu?
Yeah, big house. I mean, he's wealthy, but he's not 5.3 billion. He could lead a group.
6,
yeah, 5.6. He's not rich enough to buy this team on his own. He would have to come in with a group, whereas Bezos could just, use Amazon Pay and just send it over.
So the NFL is like effectively run by Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft.
Yeah.
They're the two most important owners in the NFL. Do you think they want a Bezos level celebrity to own the team? Because the Warriors, when Joe Lacob bought it, Larry Ellison had a higher bid and they just didn't like him.
Yeah.
So they gave it to Lacob's group.
I think Jeff Bezos is liked.
But he's famous. He's the only one that's kind of more famous than the NFL.
Yeah, so I would say I agree. There will be some pushback, but I do think Jeff Bezos seems like a guy that this will be a vanity purchase. It's not going to be his life. Like he's not going to be, like Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft, this is their business. Their business is the team.
But I think that's part of the culture. Yeah. The owners are all on the sidelines. They're all in the owner's box. They're all on camera. Like we know all these guys who own all these teams.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if Jeff Bezos wants to waste his Sundays watching football.
Thursday, Sunday, Monday.
People are saying that there could be a potential conflict because Amazon is an NFL, but he's not the CEO. So that's not, it's like owning, CBS stock doesn't preclude you from owning an NFL team.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's the conflict that I'd be worried about. But 5 points, NFL teams are worth so much money.
May go for more.
By the way, they suck.
Yeah, they do suck. They've sucked for a long time.
By the way, they're not like some storied franchise that anyone gives a shit about. It's not owning the Steelers or the Cowboys or, if Cowboys represent $10 billion.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people want to own the Cowboys. Who has any money left?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. The NBA.
American billionaires, like who it has to be a group, right?
Yeah, it has to be a group, but there has to be a face.
Steve Ballmer.
I think Steve Ballmer's happy in LA.
He's like, I'm not going to DC on weekends.
You have
There's
to be
nobody
so
local in
rich.
DC that has this kind of money.
You have to be so rich. You have to be worth over $30 billion.
Ken Griffin.
I don't think he cares.
It's like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to let a foreign buyer, so it has to be an American.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go through the Forbes list and see
who hasn't got slaughtered on their money.
Yeah, Zuck probably can't even buy the team.
He can't afford it, poor guy. He's going to need a loan.
Yeah, well, I think the NFL is like super strict on all that. You just have to be rich enough to buy it.
Then it's really just Jeff Bezos.
Because the NBA allows lending and a lot of chicanery that people
a lot of people are stretching, buying that plane. Like, NBA allows Klarna.
Yeah, NBA allows Klarna. And they're going to have to with the Suns and the 2 expansion teams. That's like $10-12 billion that people need to come up with.
Which nobody has.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's Steve Ballmer, it's Jeff
Elon,
Bezos.
he's busy.
Elon should buy it and watch he turns that team around.
Yeah, geez. Like the Waltons already own the Broncos, so you eliminate like
there's a lot of Waltons.
Yeah, but
each sibling should get one.
They probably can afford it.
Yeah, 100. They each worth like $20 billion.
The Koch family could afford it.
Yeah, but they're not in any sports, are they?
Yeah, no, they're not.
So they wouldn't buy it. There's not that many people that could buy this. Jeff Bezos feels like the right fit. All right, we'll see. Moving on. The other really interesting thing I was seeing is today someone tweeted out that the Unusual Whales account that Apple is worth the aggregate of Meta, Amazon, and Google. The market cap.
Yep.
That's insane.
That is crazy. What is Alphabet at now?
It's trading in the 80s, like a $1.1 trillion company. Amazon.
I mean, Meta is a rounding error.
I mean, Amazon is a 900 something billion dollar company. Meta is like a 200 something billion dollar company. And I had put on my Twitter.
Apple's 2.2 trillion. So yeah, it's 2.209. So just about.
If you're thinking about putting money in for your kids' college tuition money, and you had to invest money today, and your options were Amazon, Alphabet, Meta, Apple. I didn't add this last one, but being Tesla. On my Twitter, the 50% said Apple.
Okay.
I wouldn't touch Meta with my college kids' money. Like,
yeah, it's a risky bet.
Yeah, kids' college money. I'm not taking. I mean, ever since you loved it, it's down 40%. It went from 130 to 80.
I have a long-term view.
Yeah, well, now you have a long way to catch up.
Amazon. I would say Amazon and Alphabet.
I don't believe in Amazon. I think e-commerce is so difficult going forward. Until autonomous drivers and trucking happens, dude, the cost to ship a package, and now you're seeing e-commerce revenue dip on Amazon. It's going down. It's not going up. I just don't believe like it's a good business to be in. It's going to give you that growth multiple over time. They have all the moats in the world too, right? They have everything. They have the distribution. They aggregated all the traffic. They have everything.
I think just broadly speaking, Amazon probably learned the most in the pandemic because they can actually stomach all this downturn.
Yeah.
Because it's still a massive business and they have so much cash that they'll now grow responsibly.
Yeah.
And they figured out all the things they did wrong in expansion. So now when they do expand, when the economy does rebound and start growing again, they'll make the right decisions.
Yeah. And I actually don't think it's no fault to theirs. It's just the unit economics of e-commerce are not what they were. it's not, so many things are not effective anymore. And now that the consumer knows Amazon's not the cheapest place to buy something, that it's still cheaper to walk into a store and buy something. I think they just have a lot of upward pressure. Whereas Google, to me, Alphabet, feels like TikTok ban only helps Meta and Alphabet, right? Substantially.
And Meta going all in on Meta.
And Alphabet has YouTube and YouTube Shorts.
And last man standing. And their cloud business is massive.
Cloud business is massive. Search is still massive. I mean, they have so many bigger moats. Like, you can't replicate YouTube. You can, people are going to go after social networks, but nobody's going after YouTube.
Yeah.
Literally, like, if you think about like search, it's over. They won. Maps, they won. They feel like more monopolistic in a lot of categories that, and I don't care all this AI shit everyone's doing. They can do it, all of it too.
Well, they are doing it. YouTube's powered by
I know, but I'm saying
DeepMind.
You look at OpenAI and Jasper AI and all these companies. You're telling me Google doesn't have all this shit built too? Of course they have it built.
Well, yeah, DeepMind. Yeah, they bought that. They have the entire AI.
So my point is that if you believe in, generative AI is this huge industry, I feel like Google just feels like, to me, of Amazon, Apple, Alphabet, Meta, those four, I feel like Google is the place I'd put my kids' college money.
I wouldn't be mad at that. I mean,
I think I
think Apple and Meta are the riskiest. Meta's obviously the riskiest.
Yes.
But I don't know. Do we really think nothing in our lifetime is going to replace this thing?
Of what?
An iPhone, a competitor?
I don't know.
That's never happened in the history of like anything.
Yeah.
There's just been one option.
Okay, so then don't put your money in Apple.
Yeah.
If I had a high risk tolerance, I would go all in on Tesla. And the reason being is I don't like, after just learning more and more about this company, it is just not.
But it has massive keyman risk.
Of course. So, but
like Google has no keyman risk.
Yeah.
Neither does Amazon anymore. Apple doesn't. Meta does.
I mean, we'll have to. Yeah. So I think it has massive keyman risk, but Apple was able to navigate it. So it is possible. Like, the groundworks of innovation are at Tesla now. And so like Goldman Sachs put out a report that they said, like, basically robotics, humanoids are going to be bigger than the EV industry in America. If that's the case, who else is better positioned? This guy has robots. Tesla. I see he's always posting videos of that Tesla robot guy. Like, so if you think about it from that perspective, and you think about like all the other parts of the energy ecosystem that Tesla is playing in, like all those big electric truck companies, I've never seen one drive down the street yet. Tesla just pushed one out the other day. Mm-hmm. At least one. At least we've seen one.
I mean, yeah, it's keyman risk. What if Elon decides he's burnt out and he's like, I'm done, and he pulls a Bezos?
Yeah, but Bezos did it at like, he had already won his 6 titles.
Right. I mean, you could argue Elon has too.
Yeah. So maybe they're the groundworks of
maybe now he has like there's real focus. Like, he's focused on Twitter. Obviously, he's tweeting all day.
Yeah. He's trolling everyone. It's kind of awesome. I'm blown away at his level of.
I wonder does he plan out his day? Like, okay, the last 10 minutes of every hour, I'm just going to get on Twitter and fuck with people. That has to be what's going on.
Maybe he has somebody who does it for him.
I don't know. It's too clever. It's him.
Yeah. Just anyone couldn't do it.
No.
Especially the emojis.
Yeah. It's definitely him.
It's really fascinating.
Well, he says he's tweeted before. He's like, yeah, these come when I'm mostly sitting on my toilet. Maybe he goes to the bathroom a lot.
Yeah, clean bowel, active. It's fascinating. I think he'll end up hiring a CEO for Twitter. And I think Twitter will be in a good place. Like, he has smart friends. Put the all-in crew there, give them all some incentive and let them run the company. And then lay the groundwork of what Twitter is. I think he spends still most of his time, I think, at Tesla. I'm just saying, like, if I'm looking 10 years out, Tesla still has so much upside.
It does, for sure.
Like, it feels like it could do so much
Especially
more.
because they're the only ones actually making the batteries.
Yeah. And domestic manufacturing. There's just like, I know people, like, it's so funny. Now everyone's in the Twitter threads. Oh, Tesla doesn't even make a good car. That is the only car I see in LA more than anything. Remember, like 10 years ago, it was just Prius. I know we're in our little bubble, but our bubble is extremely influential. When you see the amount of Teslas, every young person I know, that's the car they want.
Yeah.
What do you think when they get more money? They're going to get a bigger Tesla.
Yeah, now it's all across all price points.
It's an iPhone. It is literally an iPhone of cars.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's obviously an incredible company. And as long as he's there, I think it's a great bet. Yeah,
I mean, I'm curious to see how it all plays out. The other thing that I think is, like, when you're thinking about these big tech companies, you look at their stock prices, they're down every single day, especially Alphabet, Meta, and Amazon. They're literally been down every single day this last week or two.
I mean, Apple's down too.
Apple's down, but it's still 2 trillion something.
No, I know, but it was 2.5 trillion.
Yeah.
You just casually lost 300 billion.
I'm at what point, like, those companies to me don't have, like, Meta definitely has, like, fundamental risk because of just focus on what they're spending their money on. What would make those stocks go up at this point? Because their businesses are, they're still fine. There's nothing wrong with any of these businesses. But at what point do you like say, okay, it's time to buy? Is it a layoff?
I think it's cost cutting and Fed pivot. That's it.
Yeah.
Because every earnings report that has come out this quarter has talked about a soft consumer coming up. Like, even if they had a banner quarter like Airbnb, we talked about last pod, they even said, like, we're expecting slowdown next quarter.
Yeah.
DoorDash said the same thing. You name it. Anyone that's dealing with consumers is saying, in the future, we know the consumer is deteriorating. Every single one.
Yeah.
So we haven't felt the real pain yet. And then, we could talk about Chairman Powell. I thought that was the most fascinating thing. The written report comes out and the market just starts ripping because it makes it seem like the Fed, what they're doing is working, and we see that in the future, we should be looking at data in the future more than just the data in the past, which is like what we've always been saying. Like, how are you not, when we know the consumer is going to be soft, why don't you factor that into all your decisions? The statement comes out and everyone's like, oh, they're finally getting it. Like, we can take the foot off the pedal going forward. But then Powell starts talking. He didn't like that.
Yeah.
So Powell just went extremely hawkish and the market tanked. NASDAQ was down like 3.5%.
Yeah.
In an hour.
Yeah. I was watching it too. It's the tone. The way he said it, I knew as soon as he said it, I'm like, oh, fuck.
But that's not what's supposed to happen. The written report and the verbal report should have the same effect.
Emotion matters.
I agree it matters, and that's the flaw.
Yeah.
Because everyone saw what their intentions are, which is all that people cared about, and they're like, okay, we can live with this, and markets start going up. He didn't like it. I think he saw the market going up when he says, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
I'm bringing it down.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just think the fact that the market continues to go down, and now it's clear, like, there's no pivot, there's no nothing. And the data is not showing there are some now recent rent datas in some markets where rents are coming down, but the consumer's still fucking strong.
Yeah.
It's still like, it's
but
okay.
There's a disconnect. You talk to big retailers all day and they say it's soft.
Yeah. So retailers are soft, like discretionary income retailers are soft. But let's take a look at some earnings that just came out. Starbucks.
Yep.
Okay. Big business. U.S. consumers were spending more on their orders this quarter. They're spending more.
Yeah.
they beat on earnings. They beat on revenue. Said that Starbucks said customers are adding pricey syrups to their.
I saw like 78%, or it's definitely over 70% are cold drinks.
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm only a cold guy.
Really? Iced coffee?
Yeah, I'm iced coffee. I love an iced junk coffee.
What happened to people drinking hot coffee? Isn't that like a nostalgia thing?
That's for cops.
Your warm cup of Joe?
That's for cops.
It's for cops.
I just think they've made the iced coffee so damn good. It's just an incredible, like, Starbucks is like such an incredible example of just like flawless execution. They've just
Chipotle too.
Yeah.
Chipotle said their increased prices had no effect on the business.
What's even crazier? Pumpkin spice lattes climbed 70% compared to the year ago. 70%? More people are drinking pumpkin. How are you not sick of that stupid drink?
Well, it's seasonal, right?
I get it, but it jumped.
There was COVID scares last fall.
So you didn't feel like pumpkin spice latte? Just a
No, you
regular
might not
latte?
have gone to Starbucks as much.
Nah, people were going. 28 million people are part of their membership club, their loyalty program. That's insane. By the way, they have an incredible app, incredible experience. And then for 2023, they're expecting a 10 to 12% growth.
So,
and China's locked down.
Yeah, China's locked down. And when we talk about like how it still hasn't hit, so there's 5 million restaurant companies reported earnings today. If you combine all the
their restaurants,
so it's Starbucks, Chewy's, Noodles, El Pollo Loco, and Potbelly.
Okay.
Starbucks 7% year over year same store sales growth. Chewy's 2.6. I've never heard of Chewy's. CHUY. Have you?
Yeah.
Noodles 2.1%.
I don't know what that is.
El Pollo Loco 3.8%. Potbelly 15%.
Potbelly's hot.
Is it?
I mean, it's you know, I think I first had it in Chicago. I don't know if they're from Chicago or somewhere.
Starbucks is 11%, not 7.
Consumer has not stopped eating.
No.
We're gonna eat our way through this recession.
I think it just keeps. It's just like a musical chairs of where people are spending.
Yeah.
But people still have money.
Yeah, that's the point. Is that retail is soft because you bought enough stuff and now you're just shoving your face. Syrup, you know, when I go to Starbucks, if I get like an iced vanilla latte, they put 4 pumps. I'm a 2-pump guy. I do 2 pumps, half the pumps. If you want more shit, you pay for it. So people are adding more pumps.
Right. And Starbucks traffic hit 95% of pre-pandemic levels in September, due in part to pumpkin spice.
It's insane.
And that's funny because their earnings and revenue are way more than pre-pandemic because the average tickets are at an all-time high. So people are just spending more.
Yeah.
Whew.
That's what I'm saying. Like the data is not reflecting what we think is happening in the economy. It's affecting retail, like discretionary spending, but travel is still all-time high. These restaurants are not feeling it. Cheesecake looked like it felt some of it in their earnings, but even them, like no one's really saying that their business, and that Starbucks numbers is pretty indicative. That is an easy cut. Like I don't drink coffee outside. I drink it maybe once a week. I'll buy coffee outside. We'd make coffee at home every day. But like, if you go to Starbucks, you're not getting out of there with like, unless you're just buying a tall Americano for $3 or whatever.
Yeah, they said $1 billion was spent on beverage modifiers. So that's the puffs you're talking about? Pumps?
Pumps. All kinds of stuff. Add this, do that, triple flip, whatever. It's like that's a 50 cents here, $1 here.
But yeah, people aren't, it's like similar to the iPhone. People aren't cutting their iPhone. They're not cutting their Starbucks.
Well, this is what I was talking about, the blue check. You'll gladly spend $8 for a venti pumpkin spice latte. That's $8.
Mm-hmm.
But you won't spend $8 on something you spend hours on a day. You know how much ice is in a Starbucks? Have you ever seen those TikTok videos with
No.
actual how much coffee? It's like a quarter of the cup is coffee. The rest is just ice.
It's good business.
Yeah. They're basically selling ice for $7. But Elon Musk is the bad guy.
Right.
Oh my God. This is super fascinating. But yeah, I mean, I think on the earnings front, the earnings that are, that are coming out, DoorDash came out with earnings. Their stock popped. It looks like they saw some growth in revenue and remain profitable. Is that right?
No, they widened their loss. But the stock popped 15%.
How is it going up? Even Uber stock went up. They're losing money still.
No one cares.
You should care now.
You should. Yeah. Net loss of $296 million in the quarter.
You lost $100 million.
It's because revenue beat big.
Obviously, it beat. What do you think?
Orders
you lost?
up 27% year over year. Strong Q4 guidance, up 14% the stock.
Why are you losing $300 million? What the fuck are you doing?
AI.
What? It tells you what burrito to order?
Nah, but yeah.
I don't know. I just don't get it. I still don't understand how you're rewarding companies for losing money.
Yeah, I mean,
doesn't make sense. Coinbase reported.
Yeah, Coinbase had a smaller than expected loss. They lost $540 million,
which is insane because this was once a profitable company,
extremely profitable,
and now it's literally like, dude, this is insane. The revenue drop. They did. Their expected revenue was $654 million. They came in at $590. I think they did like.
It's down 50% year
No,
over year.
way more. Retail transaction revenue came in at $346 million. Retail revenue last year was $1 billion.
That was peak cryptomania.
Yeah,
though.
65% revenue is down.
Yeah, I mean, the stock's been clobbered. They beat on monthly active users. So I think that's what got people, like, I guess, a little comfortable. But it's going to pace with, like, whenever crypto goes back up. The stock's up a little in after hours. So, I mean,
it's not as terrible as people thought.
Yeah, I think people understand if you're in the Coinbase business, you're in the crypto business. So
yeah.
You either believe in crypto or you don't. And if you believe in crypto.
Yeah, I mean, you could believe in crypto and not own Coinbase.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, you could just be like, yeah, it's cool. I like it. What's interesting is Ethereum accounted for 33% of trading volume, up from 22%, and 31% came from Bitcoin, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think the altcoins dropped.
Yeah. And all that money went to Ethereum.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, like, it's pretty steep revenue decline. So the stock is clearly reflecting that. Now, basically, I think Robinhood also reported. I didn't see their earnings, but my guess, it can't be good. Like,
No,
it's got to be a tough swing for them as well. I'm just shocked that a lot of like the big cap tech is getting hurt this bad. I can't get over it. Just like Google down again, like a few percentage points every single day. It's barely $1 trillion company. It's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean,
not even $1 trillion.
The technology's just been slaughtered.
Yeah, it's wild. And then I don't like to beat a dead horse. This is dead. This horse is dead. It's slaughtered. It's over. But Peloton reported a steeper than expected loss, steeper than expected drop in sales. Executives have said company must stop burning cash.
Well, they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, who would lend to Peloton at this point?
Revenue declined to $600 million, which is still impressive. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to do about this company.
I don't think you have to do anything. It's going to do it to itself.
Yeah, I mean, they're selling in Dick's Sporting Goods. They're on Amazon now. They're in 54 Hilton branded hotels. I don't know if this business you can turn around. And I know everyone's like, Apple should buy it. No, Apple should not buy it.
Yeah, they're a $3 billion company. I think at the peak, they were $175 billion.
I've never been more right about something in my entire life.
Probably not.
Like, this is just unbelievably correct.
Imagine if you had shorted it from 175 continuously.
Maybe a billionaire.
Yeah.
God damn it. That's terrible. All right. Well, you win some, you lose some. Well, if you have some time on December 6th, I would head over to Paris. And the reason why is Ledger is hosting their third ever open keynote. And it is live in Paris. And I'm guessing if you want to be in Web3, you want to be in crypto, you want to be in this space, it's funny, like all of these like crypto companies, you know, they're distributed workforces. It's all about the metaverse. It's all about the future. But everyone who has told me who's gone to any Web3 IRL stuff have just said it's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Like the energy, the relationships, the friendships. It's crazy that like the most impactful things are happening in real life in crypto. Like everyone, remember the excitement when Bitcoin Miami and NFT week, even whatever happened to LA this summer, it was just like energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you live in Europe or you're feeling ambitious, head on over to Paris to the Ledger open event. And if you can't make it out there, you can head over to their Twitter account. They're going to be live streaming everything, but anyone can buy tickets. I would go. If you're in Europe, there's no excuse not to go.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you're in any aspect of wanting to be in technology, crypto.
Yeah.
Because I know everyone likes to rain on crypto's parade right now, but it is still, I think, the smartest group of people attacking an industry.
Oh yeah. I mean, every time I've been around crypto founders, I'm like, they're so goddamn smart. And that was the equivalent of what like 10, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, when the web was just getting going. That's what those people were doing. They were building the first e-commerce sites. They were building the first, commerce enablement tools and things like that. Like as much as, usually looking at the price, the smartest young people are still in Web3.
Yep.
Which is exciting. So Ledger Open in Paris. Go check it out. You can check our show notes. We'll have the links there. It's a must have. Let's move on. Winners, losers, content. Who is your winner of the week?
My winner's Elon. He's just like, and it's just amazing how much he gets under people's skin. And he's not even saying anything that offensive. He's not doing, you could not like Elon's kind of whatever persona, but I don't think it's offensive enough to be this polarizing. He's not Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Donald Trump was going after race groups, religions, immigrants, liberal states, actively trying to punish liberal states. Like he was actually evil. Yeah. And people are treating him like he's Donald Trump, which I just don't agree with.
Yeah. I can't, it's insane to me that people find him so polarizing. Yeah. I just don't see it. I don't feel that way toward him at all.
Right.
I don't know. My winner is the internet. And the reason why is breaking news. Kanye West announced, so he is going on a verbal fast.
Like he's actually not talking? He's not talking publicly.
So
the silent retreats?
Seinfeld, where Kramer said he wasn't going to talk, and then he kept blabbing, and then he goes, it starts now.
Yeah.
That's what's happening right now. Kanye is basically referring to, maybe he was watching Seinfeld last night, and he was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't talk. If Kanye does not talk for 1 year, he can come back.
No, he'd have to run back his comments though. He'd have to say I was in a bipolar state. I didn't know what I was thinking. I didn't have clarity. Now I do, and I apologize, and I take everything back.
It's not even I take everything back. I think you have to identify exactly what you're taking back. the anti-Semitic comments, things like that. Because apparently he's getting there was a settlement made out of court regarding someone that said that he had praised Hitler.
Yeah, and apparently it was all under NDAs, and he just paid people off so it wouldn't get public. So this isn't new behavior.
No,
this is a pattern of behavior. I don't think you can come back from it.
Yeah, probably right. But it's great for the internet that it shuts up. Verbal
No,
fest.
it's great for humanity. It's bad for the internet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I like it.
Okay.
I don't want to hear about him for 1 year.
Yeah.
Who's your loser?
Leads right into my loser, Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
So everyone now knows, how he posted a movie that has anti-Semitic tropes in it, and he's not backing down. He's tripling down. He did an interview at practice. At first, the general manager said, "Oh, Kyrie's not going to have any interviews for 2 days," but apparently practice today, he had all the reporters in his face, and he just keeps denying that he promoted anything that's anti-Semitic, and then he's blaming the platform for having it. And he doesn't understand, when you're as famous as he is, when you post something, you are promoting it.
Yeah.
What else is it?
Yeah.
You don't post something that unless you say like, I hate it.
Yeah.
I can't believe this is on Amazon or whatever. I think he's going to be out of the league. So he's a free agent at the end of this year. There's calls now that are rising for him to be out of the NBA today. Like, how's he not suspended? Apparently Adam Silver, the commissioner, is meeting with him next week. I mean, I don't think this guy's going to back down.
Yeah.
He thinks he's smarter than everyone.
Yeah.
He thinks he's like above everyone intellectually.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to cost him his job.
Wild. I also think adding to that, because we were just talking about Kanye. I finally saw the post. I'm not talking to nobody for a month. I'm taking a 30-day cleanse, a verbal fast, no alcohol, no adult films, no intercourse, and God we praise. But my Twitter still lit.
The thing that these guys, Kyrie and Kanye, don't realize is, Kanye like outright just said really bad shit. Kyrie Irving is like promoting bad stuff.
Yeah.
There's a news alert that came that the FBI says synagogues
in New Jersey area
are in high alert.
Yeah.
Like, their actions are directly correlated with this.
100%. All of a sudden, anti-Semitism in this country has gone up.
Yes.
Because of what those two said.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And there needs to be consequences.
Yeah. Well, Kanye's had his consequences.
Everyone's Kyrie cut ties. Hasn't.
Kyrie has not. Yeah, I mean, like, you should be cut. Like, and it should be cost to cut.
Yeah. Especially the NBA. They're the most politically active league.
Yeah, well, then you can argue that, you should be able to say whatever you want then.
No, they pick and choose, right?
Not about China.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating. Really interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. My loser are all of you Cathys who have these high-paying white-collar jobs. Let me tell you something. Show up to work, kiss your boss's asses, and make sure that you are an important player. And I'm not doing this to be funny. I'm not even doing this for clickbait or nothing. I'm just giving you advice as someone that has employed thousands of people over the last 20 years. When you have to make those tough decisions as a employer, you go down the list and you think about, it's performance, it's personality, it's everything.
And there's a human element.
There is a human element.
Oh, I like that conversation I had at the water cooler.
Yeah. And if you're an underperformer, you're already at the top of the list. But if you're at least a liked underperformer, you have a shot.
And show up to all the corporate events.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling to me when like a company has an event that's like fun that employees don't go to.
The excuse I would give for people with kids, because maybe that's
fine. But I'm talking
the young kids. Young people have no excuse. By the way,
people with kids all show up because they want to get out of the house. Yeah. Trust me, anyone older has kids, whatever. They're like, I'll come to the company event. It's always like the 25-year-old that doesn't come to the event. Well, what are you doing?
Too cool for school.
Yeah, you're too
They'd
cool.
They'd rather be at the waterfront.
No, they're not. They're probably Netflixing. Yeah. I think it's going to be really important that whatever company you're in, especially if you're in technology, or especially you're just in any industry that's going to be impacted by. Look, if you work at Starbucks, you're chilling. Your job is safe. Business is booming. But if you're not at Starbucks,
No, if you're at corporate Starbucks, it might not be safe.
yeah,
They need baristas.
Yeah.
You're a barista. You're chilling.
if you're not the person at Starbucks coming up with these syrups, they don't need you.
It's corporate. This is a corporate recession.
Yeah.
And it's going to hit every industry.
Yeah. Usually blue collar gets hacked. They're not untouchable.
They're needed.
Yeah. And by the way,
That's where the shortages are.
I bet you all their salaries go up in a recession. Blue collar jobs will get paid more money. They're proven to be the most vital part. How many restaurants don't have waiters? How many factories don't have workers? How many warehouses don't have employees? That's where the money is going to go. If you're a big company, you're like, yeah, I'd rather pay the warehouse guy.
Yeah. It's more important to get your goods delivered on time than anything.
Yeah. So,
It's a corporate recession.
Yeah.
White collar recession.
Got to play your cards right now. And if you get severance, don't be like, oh, I'm going to start next month looking for a job. You better start right away.
Yeah, totally.
And be flexible. Dude, you can always go back out into the market and once things pick back up, go request more money, go to another company, get your salary where you're at. But don't just sit around and, this is what I get paid. I'm not working. Unless you have cash. If you have cash, then
do whatever you want.
Yeah. But then if you're not in the workforce for a year or two, your value goes down. You gotta be super strategic what you do here as an employee. Employers are having a very difficult time right now. They're gonna make the tough decisions. You as an employee, if you're a result of that, then you need to make those tough decisions as well. Content.
I'm going to start watching White Lotus season 2.
Huh.
HBO show. Season 1 was amazing.
Yeah, it was a great show. What was it about again?
They're all in Hawaii.
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
chaos.
Yeah, it was a good show. I liked it.
So there's only one returning character.
Who?
Stifler's mom. I don't know her name.
Okay. Yeah. Mine is Drake album.
Good one.
Drake 21 Savage.
Tonight?
It's supposed to come out tonight. The marketing has been hilarious. It's all fake. That's the best part about it is. He did a Vogue shoot. It's not real. He said he's posted something about, there's all these memes about what Drake said on Howard Stern. He didn't go on Howard Stern. I forgot what were all the other things that he's doing.
Yeah.
Hilarious. It also shows that no one actually of his audience actually reads Vogue or listens to Howard Stern.
Yeah.
So they don't even know that he wasn't on it. They just, because no one's calling it out.
Yeah.
I think the marketing, he's always clever with his marketing, and I really hope it's good because I just feel like that genre needs some good music right now. Otherwise it's Taylor Swift just rising to the top.
So Drake's this week, huh?
Yeah. He's got balls going against Swiftie.
I'm sure these things are planned out, but this is a tough one.
Yeah. Because her streams are going up. They're not going down. I follow
All right, what's the prediction? Does he take number 1 next week?
No.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Which album? When's the last time Drake hasn't been number 1? His opening album?
Yeah. But, there's a lot of trickery, record labels.
Yeah, it'll be good.
All right. That's it. Do we have any shout outs? All right. Well, have a great weekend. If your boss invites you to happy hour on Friday, head down. Go have a drink with them.
Get an IPA.
Get an IPA. Get some French fries. Pretend like you enjoy it.
Big smiles.
Big smiles. Man, I really love working 75 hours a week. It's really nice here. It's a great time. All right, everyone. Have a great weekend.